Hi, I'm Dr. Chuck Betters. Welcome to Ask Dr. Betters. We receive a lot of questions about Satan, Lucifer, about the fall of man and his role in it. And such is the case from somebody who wrote anonymously that he's searching. He's searching for a lot of answers to a lot of questions. And so he asks questions like, since God doesn't like rebellion, why did he create the devil? Why does God create us on the same planet where Satan is able to tempt us? And why did mankind have to meet Satan in the first place? Why were Adam and Eve introduced to temptation? And on the list of those kinds of questions go. These are good questions, but these are questions that the scriptures have left us with virtual silence. We don't know where evil originated from. And anybody who tries to say that they know where it came from is deceiving you and deceiving themselves. The Bible does not tell us where evil originated. It doesn't say why God created Satan or Lucifer in the first place. We only have one hint of it, and that's in Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, beginning with verse 12, and I'll get to that in a moment. We know that when God created the heavens and the earth, Genesis 1:1, that the earth was without form and void, the Bible tells us, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. This doesn't sound like a world that a perfect God would create. That has caused some, myself included, to question whether or not the Bible is giving us the story of God's creative act from the beginning, or if he's picking it up along the way. In other words, I look at Genesis 1:1 and I ask myself, what happened before Genesis 1:1? What happened before it says in Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth? Now, the word beginning there implies time. So, in the beginning of time, God created this dark, empty, void, lifeless world. Or did he? If God is an eternal God, which we believe he is, then I inevitably raise the question that there had to be activity on God's part before he said, let there be light, before he created the heavens and the earth. We know that Satan is a spiritual being, and that he was in existence before God created the heavens and the earth. What did he do? What was his role? What power did he have? We only have one clue in Scripture about that I know of. Other things build on that clue, but in Isaiah chapter 14, beginning with verse 12, it says, "How you are fallen from heaven, O day star, son of the dawn. How are you cut down to the ground, you who laid the nations low? You said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven." Now that word day star translates Lucifer. Should I say Lucifer translates day star. He wanted to ascend into the heaven above the stars of God. That's the angels of God. That's what the word stars means. "And I will set my throne on high. I will sit on the mount of assembly in the far reaches of the north." This is in time. It is what I like to call a snapshot prophecy. It is picturing something that was actually happening at that time, and then looking down through heaven's telescope and seeing its broader implication. So the king of Babylon, in time, practiced this art of deception, this sense of pride, arrogance, setting himself above God. But the picture here, using the words day star, references Lucifer. It's a picture of a fallen angel. Now, the angels were in existence before God created the heavens and the earth. Lucifer was among them. Now we know from the scriptures, Revelation and a couple of other places, that a third of those angels rebelled against God, and they were condemned as fallen angels. We'll call them today demons, devils, Satan being at their head, being a highly ranked angel. Satan fell, and a third of the angels fell with him. Their destiny has already been determined. They are determined. God has determined that they will be locked in eternal hell forever and forever when he brings his judgment. Lucifer is among them. Here's the confusing part. We don't know where he came from. All we know is he was a created being. We don't know whether he came from that God created him in time, or that God created him before time began. I believe that God created him before time began. His sin was the sin of wanting to be God. He wanted to rise above all the stars of heaven, which is the angels. He wanted to rise above all of them and be Lord and Master. In other words, he wanted to be God over all of God's creation. That was his sin. That was his fall. Now, from Genesis to Revelation, the Bible is a story of this invisible war between the seed of God and the seed of Satan. The seed of the woman, the seed of Satan battle each other all the way through to the end, where Satan's destiny is unfolded, where he is cast eternally into the lake of fire. Now, he is not God. He does not have the attributes of God, but he wanted them. And so all of a sudden in the pages of Genesis, he snakes himself onto the scene. Where did he come from? We don't know. We know that he came from heaven, where he was fallen. When he came, I believe, was before God created the heavens and the earth. So in order to answer these questions of where did evil come from, where did Satan come from, we are left to conjecture based upon Isaiah chapter 12 and those couple of verses that I read earlier. Beyond that, we cannot say for certain where he came from, where his powers came from, why God allowed evil in the first place. We can't answer those questions. They are questions that we can look at the result of evil. We can look at the invisible war that comes as the result of Satan's fall and Adam's fall, and that we are, as Romans 5 says, we are all in the loins of Adam, meaning that we are fallen with Adam. Adam is fallen with Lucifer, and sin entered the world. Now, here's the key that we need to understand. This was not a whoops for God. This was not, oh, I need a plan B. I have plan A, I need a plan B because plan A failed. God knew before the foundation of the earth that he would send his son to redeem mankind from their sin. He knew from the very beginning that he would send his son to crush the head of Satan. We have the indication of that in Genesis 3:15. In Genesis 3:15, God makes a prophecy to the evil one, to Satan. He says to Satan, you will bruise his heel, meaning Christ, but he will crush your head. That destiny was determined long before Genesis 3:15 was written. I believe it was a destiny that was written before time began. But we can't say when, we can't say from where. We don't have answers to those questions. The key here is for us to understand God has made a provision to defeat the evil one, and that provision is in his son, Jesus Christ. That's where we run for cover. That's why the scripture tells us Satan basically is a bully, and that we are to draw nigh unto God, he will draw nigh unto us. We are to resist the devil, and he will flee from us. Those are the promises that scripture gives us. I hope this helps.
Hi, my name is Melissa Weisenfels, Executive Director here at Mark Inc. Ministries. Thank you so very much for your continued support of this video series. Ask Dr. Betters is not meant to be a substitute for professional counseling, but instead is designed to extract biblical principles around the questions being asked. We encourage you to seek professional counseling if needed.